Hi everyone. So in this video here, I'm going to be talking to you about effective decision making. This was a heavily favorited comment. Lots of people wanted to see this, and so I'm going to be going over it with a replay of one of my games earlier today, or rather, this was a few days ago. Sorry. And just to begin, I am reading all the comments. I see all the posts about doing a guide for Norse, doing a guide for Atlantean, Egyptian, etc. I'm trying to get to it, but at the same time, making these videos takes quite some time for me. And if I keep on making a lot of videos, then it's taking away from my practice time, and I'm going to fall behind other players. So I'll try to do that for you guys. I'm working on it in the future, but I'm not sure exactly when I can get it to you. So anyways, going over this topic, which is effective decision making, which in my opinion is the most important skill in an RTS game, I wanted to show it to you with this replay. So let's get started first. And at the beginning of the game, we're just scouting around. We're just getting our resources in order. One thing I do want to point out that compared to other games like Age of Empires 4, Age of Mythology is a little bit different in the sense that Age of Empires 4, you can have a game plan ahead of time, most of the time. Like, the resource placements are not that radical, and the town center placements are not fixed, meaning that you can have your strategy almost 80% of it done before the game even starts. Like, this is the matchup, this is what I'm going to do. Age of Mythology is a little bit different. The resources are spawning in really weird spots all over the map, and that changes everything. So that's one thing. Scouting is very important. I made this little spreadsheet. I haven't finished it yet, but these are the things that I am working on right now. And one of the things I want to highlight is there's two different things when it comes to decision making. There's overall strategy and there's tactics. So let's just start here with strategy. This is the number one most critical point in strategy. You have to scout. And this is one of the things that almost lost me this game here, and I'm going to show it to you in a bit. But you need to scout every second of every game as much as you possibly can. There are going to be times where you're going to have to assume, hey, my opponent's probably doing this because this is probably the most effective strategy, which is point number 2 here. If you can scout, if it's hard to scout, you're going to have to assume. And the best way to assume is to put yourself in his position. Once you put yourself in his position, then you can say, hey, if I was this player in this position and with these resources, with these units that I'm playing against, what would I do? And then you play from there. And the last point is only take fights that are favorable. You guys can pause the video here and read this over. This is just rough notes that I've been making on the side for myself. I haven't completed it yet, but I'm still working on it. So that's kind of like strategy. Strategy is the big stuff. Strategy is the stuff that can win you games. It's the stuff that wins the war. On the other hand, tactics are the things that can win you battles, or win you like key decisive territory, right? I haven't completed this, but these are two very important points. Every building, everything you do in the game should serve a purpose. So like going back to the game for a second, where I built this mining cap is important. And I'll just give you an example. This gold mine is a rectangle. It's not a square. So given that it's a rectangle, that means that the surface area on this side is going to be larger than the surface area on this side. What that means is it's more optimal to put the mining camp on the larger surface area. Same thing with this granary. You want to put it in the middle of all of these zebras so that you can have the least amount of walking time for your villagers. In the future, you're going to see that whenever I have a temple, I try to block off terrain so it's hard for his units to pass through. When you have a tower, you want to put houses around the tower so you can reduce the surface area of your opponent when he's trying to attack it. So every single building should serve a purpose. It's not just, you don't just throw stuff all over the place. I mean, obviously, we do at times because we run out of APM. You know, we have a lot of things going on. We don't have time to think through every single building that we place. But the goal is to be able to place every building in key strategical areas. The second point is keep your army moving or in position, and this is so critical, and you're going to see this in my game right now. All the army you have, it should either be 2 spots. It should be in a key position to protect certain territory or protect themselves, or they should be moving around the map finding things to attack. And this game is going to highlight it in detail. So Once again, the game starts off, and if you noticed it, and I didn't make a mention of this, my first priest got bolted, and that changes the game completely. Just the first minute has completely changed the game, and that's why I'm saying that Age of Mythology is different than Age of Empires 4, because stuff like this doesn't happen in Age of Empires 4. This priest being bolted changes the entire landscape of the game. So what that means is I'm not going to be able to get as many goats, right? And he's going to be able to get as many goats as possible, because now he has a scout unit and I don't. Secondly, I'm going to have to assume. I don't have any information on the map, right? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's going to do. I have to assume what he's going to do. So automatically this changed, and this is going to be about strategy. It's not going to be about my build order, so I'm going to be zooming through a lot of the game right now. So let's go to key areas which I can talk about. All right, so you can just see what I'm doing here. Remember that every action has a consequence, right? So by him bolting my priest here, he wasted his god power. So what does that mean? That means that he can't bolt my next myth unit, the myth unit that I'm going to have. That's the first thing. The second thing is, as Isis, you're building these obelisks. These obelisks cost 5 gold apiece. The fact that I don't have to place them anymore means I'm going to have a faster temple. The faster temple can lead to a faster advance and a faster town center, or a faster harassment in general. So every single thing that happens in the game has a consequence. You need to think it through, right? You need to say, hey, this thing happened to me. How can I use it to my benefit? Don't get upset about it. Don't say, hey, it's lame, it's unfair. Just say, how can I use this to my advantage? That's the key territory. So here, I'm taking a town center here. Why? Well, basically because I know that he can't bolt my pharaoh, he can't bolt my priest. The town center has a reasonable resource here, which is gold, and I also have a lot of priests coming out, so I can kind of defend it as well. I can't play aggressive because I don't have any information on the map. I don't know where his food sources are. I don't know how his gold mine looks like. I don't know anything. So the only way to put myself in a decent position is to take a second town center, or I can go up to the next age 3. But once again, as you can see, I don't even know where my second hunt pack is. I'm completely in the dark here. So I'm left with one viable option, in my opinion. Okay, so I go for the town center, and as expected, here he comes trying to block it. So he sends his Minotaur in, and I did not know how strong a Minotaur was. I had no idea he was going to do this much damage. Like, this is insane. But anyways, moving on. So now my Sphinx can go and raid him, so he can't bolt this, so that's good. And at the same time, I'm going to be getting information. I'm going to be able to scout the map, see what he's kind of doing, see where his resources are, etc. I have a pharaoh, I have 3 priests. Now it comes down to micro. Can I micro well, or am I going to micro incorrectly, and is he going to be able to stop me? So right now things look okay. I pushed his hero back, and the one thing I wouldn't expect him to do is, he knows the Sphinx is coming from here, so I would expect him to prepare for it, but he didn't do that in this case, so my assumption was not correct. So once again, I'm playing in the dark. I'm trying to scout. I didn't scout the second TC, so I'm still not sure what he's doing. So in order to be safe, I throw down my racks, right? Because I don't know what he's doing at this point. And I'm just... Remember, point 2 was keep your army moving or keep your army in position. So these priests are in a very good position to the town center where they can go back. You see, the moment he attacked, I went back. They're all in position for the town center. The second thing is, remember I said each building has a specific spot where you can put it, or a key strategical area. The reason I put this racks here is because I want to wall this off at some point. Another reason I put it here is in protection line of the town center. And the third reason I put it here is because these units can retreat behind here and make it hard for him to attack. So these are all important characteristics that go into my play. Alright, so that's fine. Once again, stay in position, stay near the town center, or keep your army moving. If you have a... This was a mistake by me. You see they're out of position, but it was only for a split second. Now I'm going to raid here. Keep your army moving, like I said, and keep your units in position. Those are the two things you should keep repeating to yourself. Either keep them moving or keep them in position. Now here a little battle happened. I overestimated my army. I thought I would be okay, but guess not. This is not the end of the world. He took some losses here. Here I have to assume that he's going for a one town center play. He has too many units for 2 town centers. And I didn't scout the second town center either. He might have taken this, but most likely he's not on 2 town centers. I would have to make that assumption here. Here I'm, once again, point 2, keep your army moving, and I'm trying to raid as much as I can. And now I just go for this right here. Okay, so just gonna look at this game as well. Remember guys, we're focusing on strategy in this game. We're not focusing on build orders, we're not focusing on build design, your base design. We're focusing purely on strategy. And strategy is the most important thing when it comes to RTS games. That's how you win or lose. Everything else is just noise. Okay, so once again, if you look at this Rex, there's a reason I put it here. It's because he won't be able to just run into my town center, create a little choke point right there, and I create a retreat path for my units. Everything you do should have meaning to it. And that's not always the case. Sometimes you're going to have you're going to get busy, you're not going to have time to think through every single decision. So once again, I assume that his army is going to come here. They know that I'm gathering this resource right here. So I just jumped in from my town center and went back onto the zebra right here. Okay, went back into the town center. And now I have my army in a good position. This right here is a part of tactics, right? You're going to try to snipe some units, get some free units in. So I'm keep moving my army here to just try to snipe these Toxite. And I'm keeping these guys in position. And position means in a place where it's favorable for me as a defender. Okay, so look at this right here. Took out a Toxite and I ran back to the TC. Now I'm using my villagers to attack. Because my assumption is he's on 1 TC. You kill this army, I'm still going to have a villager lead regardless. So even if I lose a few villagers, I'm still okay. Alright, so I did okay in this fight. And at this point, I'm doing okay overall. I don't think... It might look bad. It might look like, hey, he's, pushing me off food. But the reality of it is I have a massive Vill lead because he's on 1 TC and I'm on 2. And I just push back his entire army, right? Alright, so here we go. I'm pushing in a little bit. Here I got a little overconfident. So it's still looking okay. You can afford to lose more army if you have more villagers, right? It still benefits you. I use my villagers to kind of push him back a little. And just keep on producing. Alright. Made a Sphinx as well. And now he's fighting, in my opinion, to be a very, very bad spot. He's fighting right underneath my town center. Even though he's doing well in the fight, once again, you can't take these type of fights when you're on 1 town center versus 2. I have a 20 Vill lead right now. I am running low on food, but it's still okay. At this point, right here, okay? This point, the game is over. I should win. I should be no problem. And the game is over. He should not have any chance whatsoever. Because a person who's on town center who's just defended the aggression should have no opposition at this point. But I ignored my own rules in this game. I got overconfident. And you're going to see what happens in a bit. So this part right here, everything's okay so far. I'm moving my army and, trying to raid a little bit. But you're going to see I made a massive blunder, which almost cost me this game. So let's zoom it up, let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, so here I got overconfident. I thought, hey, this game is over. I'm winning big time. He has no chance. Let's go and kill some of his talks. But I remember I said you have to be in position. These guys are not in position with these guys. And these guys don't have a defender's advantage, right? We're not near the town center. We're not near the tower. This is very risky play by me. So I'm trying to just get some free units, and boom, he hits me. And he hits me hard. Especially with 2 Minotaur in the breach. So I took massive losses here. And you're going to see what happens right now. This one, being in such a good spot, the game was essentially over. I was dominating him because he's on 1 town center and I'm on 2 the entire game. And all of a sudden, this one mistake right here almost cost me the game. So you're going to see right now what happens. Alright, so I just got completely killed right here. At this point, a lot of people would start thinking, alright, let me just resign. The game is over. I'd urge you guys to never give up. I know a lot of people get annoyed with people like, you should resign, why are you wasting my time? Never give up until you know all hope is lost. Keep on trying, keep on preparing for the next goal, next game, the next move. Don't give up. And here, this is a good spot to give up. You're gonna see, things are gonna get much worse than this, but as I said, you gotta keep on trying your best. Never give up. The opportunity of winning a game doesn't depend on you as a player. It depends on your opponent. Your opponent is who loses the game for himself. If he makes mistakes, you can come back. Right? The thing as a player is you don't make mistakes. You try to, just don't give any opportunity for him to capitalize on. And let him make the mistakes and then you take advantage of it. So here he made a lot of mistakes. A ton of mistakes. And even though the game is over, now the game is in his position, like he's in a clear lead, a massive lead. He made a lot of mistakes, and as a result, I was able to come back from it. You can see, look at the army. Oh my god. Look at this army. He has 93 pop of military units. I have 8. I don't even have a legitimate gold mine. I have this one here, which is only 5 villagers. He's gonna stop it very soon. Almost all hope is lost here, right? He has almost the same amount of villagers. I have 80 population. He has 157. This is a game that shows good decision making. So I will show you how I came back from this. So the first and foremost, when you're in a position like this, you need to understand what exactly do you need to come back in this game. And for me, what I need to come back is 2 things. First, don't die, right? You need to make sure that he doesn't just push in here and kill you. So what do you need for that? You need a fortress. Second thing is you're going to need a gold mine. In Age of Mythology, unlike other games like Age of Empires 4, every unit, with the exception of myth units, is going to cost gold, right? I think Greek heroes also is an exception there, but every regular unit in the game, like an archer, an infantry, a cavalry, is going to cost gold. So if you get pushed off gold, the game is essentially over, right? So I need gold and I need to survive. Those are the 2 key things. Remember I said never stop scouting, right? This spearman is scouting. He's seeing what has my opponent, not what openings does my opponent have? This is a clear opening right here. Everything is completely undefended. There's no walls. There's no buildings, right? Buildings allow for units to actually just kind of retreat in an organized manner. There's none of that here. I can run in with a Scorpion Man, kill everything. I can cast my Ancestors, kill everything. So, keep on scouting. Always try to keep on finding opportunities to do damage. This is a great opportunity right here. So here he is with his massive 109 unit army, okay? I have 14 units. 14 units versus 109. I have no gold mine right now. So let's see what happens. So now I know that, my army is not going to be able to contest this in a head-on fight. So this goes into tactics. I can't win a head-on fight versus. He has a much bigger army and he has a much stronger army. So what I'm focusing on is mobility. These guys have 20 range and they have a reasonable amount of speed. So my goal is to mass these as many as I can, hit and run as much as I can to kind of whittle down this army. So we're going to be hitting and running, and in order to hit and run, you need to get this upgrade, which is ballistics. This gives you 100% accuracy, or I think it's listed as 99% accuracy. So you need to be getting these units out, hit and run. If you know that you can't beat your opponent's army head on, you have to kind of find other ways to do it. One way is mobility. Shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot, run. That's one. Second is to distract your opponent. You want to split up his army, right? If he has such a strong army, you want to split it up. The best way to split it up is to raid. So if I raid this and I make him split his army in two, then his army is a lot smaller and I can come in and, actually contest it. So here we go. Remember when I said earlier in the analysis, every building has a purpose. This siege workshops right here, his purpose is to reduce the surface area of attack on my fortress. Because now units can only attack from here and attack from here. So it makes it much harder to destroy this fortress, or rather this Migdal. So here's my strategy. I'm going to shoot and run, right? And at the same time, I'm going to try to raid here to kind of pull his forces back. Once again, 109 units to 24. I'm getting completely clobbered right now. So, shoot, run, shoot, run. You see here? I sell just so many vills. Let's assume that I only kill a few vills. This is going to cost so much idle time. Let's think about it. I think there's probably over 20 vills here, right? Let's assume that each vill gathers at 1 resource a second. So that's 20 vills, right? Gathering at 1 resource a second. Let's say they lose 1 minute of gathering. That's 1,200 resources. And usually it's more than that. So it's going to be, I would assume, just by taking all of these guys off of their resources they're gathering, even if we don't kill anything, that's a massive loss for him. So let's see what happened. He didn't react as fast as he should. And it's hard to react. This is one thing that's hard because I'm hitting him. I'm peppering him right here with all my chariots. I'm scooting, right? Hitting and running. I have no gold mine right now. His army is way stronger than mine's. All I can do is hit and run. So he's distracted by this. Then I was able to capitalize on this. Alright, so I'm going to show you this. So these guys are doing work here. Now he gets a little frustrated. He's pushing in because, you don't want... Somebody's just shooting and running it's all game. It just gets really annoying and you just want to do some damage. Now he's fighting in the worst spot possible. Under 2 Migdals, right? Under a spot where he can't even attack, and now he's fighting in a choke point. And let me talk a little bit about choke points, right? I think a lot of us will know what they do, but if you have a massive amount of military, especially like melee units that attack with swords, right, and spears, if you can funnel them into a spot, then they won't be able to attack your units. All of them won't be able to attack your units. There's going to be pathing issues. So right now they're being funneled in this spot with 2 of these Migdals shooting at them, right? That's one way of getting back into the game. He is killing some vills here, which is good, but at the same time, I'm also killing vills here. And we took away 2 of his very strong units, these Minotaur. Now these Minotaur are in his base trying to defend, and he's fighting, in my opinion, a very bad spot. He's getting a little overconfident, and it's working to my advantage. Also getting a little frustrated with the shoot and scoop micro, right? So now look at his army now. He lost a lot of units, right? Look how we're closing the gap. It was from 100 to 14, now it's 60 to 20. We're slowly closing the gap, right? And at the same time, we got our villager lead back by being able to raid this. Going back to my point, if I didn't scout this right here, I think I would have lost. This right here saved me the game. That one spearman that was scouting his base saved me the game. That's why it's so important to keep on scouting, right? Even right now, I should be scouting with units, seeing where I can do damage to his economy. But now, I've clawed my way back into a reasonable military lead. Not lead, but at least not as much of a deficit. He still has a bigger army than I'm not out of the woods yet, right? But I'm trying to get back into it. Once again, he's getting frustrated, right? This is not a good move. What he's doing here is a bad move. A good move would be to control this. Controlling those gold mine is just not. It's not going to happen anymore. You have two Migdos shooting at it. The moment you try to block me on this gold mine, you're going to take massive losses, right? Sure, you're going to probably kill some vills and delay me a little bit, but you're going to take some huge losses. So I think his strategy should change. His strategy should be control this area to prevent me from taking this town center and destroy this area right here. And then just go up to H3 and go up to H4 and come back into the game there. Doing this is not good. So now, this might look like a raid, but this is actually more of a scouting party. I wanted to see if he took this second town center, and the raid, killing these villagers is just a little bonus, right? So now I know he's on 3 TCs. So now at this point I know that I can't sit back. I have to start taking the fight to him because he's going to take a villager lead. I'm on 1 town center, right? He's on 3 town centers, meaning I have to do damage. The onus is on me now. It's no longer on him. Okay, so I'm whittling away his army. He lost too many units for free. Once again, raiding and scouting, right? That's the name of the game right now. This is not a good spot either. I mean, I said he should attack here, but he should have attacked here when he had a bigger army. Now that his army is whittled away, look, we're in 65 units to 48 units. Okay, so carrying on. So let's stop the game here. I already talked about it a little bit, but every second of every game, you need to keep on thinking about your strategy. Tactics are not as important. Strategy is what is important. The strategy here is now I have to push him. I have to do game crippling damage in order to win, because the villager lead is going to go into his favor. And I also want to talk about this as well. What exactly wins games? Winning games is all about economy. The person with the bigger, stronger army wins. But in order to get the bigger and stronger army, the majority of the times you need to have a bigger and stronger economy. So it's all about economy, right? So let's carry on. He's taking some really bad fights. Really bad fights. Okay, so now I actually have the military advantage, right? So what I would do here in this particular situation is I need to reclaim this area, because look how many farms here. There's 12 farms. Each farm costs, I think, 70 gold or around something like that. So 14 farms. I have to take this area back. Not only do I have to take this area back because of the farms, but this gold mine is going to run out soon. I have 1,000 gold left on it. So I need this gold mine and I need this gold mine. In order to actually be able to get these gold mines, you need to secure this town center, because a town center is a pivot point. And let me go a little bit about what a pivot point is. A pivot point is a place to retreat back to, right? Let's say the fight is not going well for me, right? He has a bigger army than me, he's pushing me, he's raiding me. This is my pivot point. I can go back to this town center and get some safety. I can garrison and I can get the protection of the town center fire. So this is critical. And at the same time, I need to catch up on vills as well now, because he's going to take a lead very soon. Another thing to note is he's in age 2, right? I believe he's in age 2. Usually age 2 means that I'm going to have higher technology units. This chariot is an age 3 unit. It's going to be considered to be higher tech, and it is higher tech because it has mobility and it has range. So I can actually take the fight to him right now, and I want to be as aggressive as I possibly can, because I know that I have the higher tech army and I have the military advantage. Alright, so now I'm pushing into him. This was a blunder on my part. You see, I went for a raid, I got overconfident again, and I raided without scouting. And now that I didn't scout this wall right here, these guys are in danger of dying, right? Now, he can come in with his cavalry and kill all of them, and this guy is a tank. So the fact that I didn't scout properly, I didn't scout this wall, means that You know, I have no retreat path now. I'm stuck. Okay? But once again, I said at the beginning of the game, try to take advantage of every spot you can, right? I know that I'm at a loss here, so I'm gonna push here because these units, I'm gonna occupy these units. I'm gonna be a distraction for him with this, and so I can push through the middle here. You'll see that very soon. All right, so now I'm trying to push here. This goes into tactics, okay? And I don't know if I did it properly in this, but you know that tactics is about winning the battle, right? His hero right here is the only thing that can really kill these two scorpion men. These two scorpion men are very strong. So what I should have done to get win this battle right here is to kill this hero, to snipe it with my chariots and my priest. If I kill this, these guys will kill the rest. So that's part of tactics, which is what I did. You see, the moment I killed this, these guys are now being able to do a lot of work. Very strong units. At the same time, I lost his Minotaur. I don't know where he went. Let's take a look. See, his Minotaur stopped following me. So now I can actually snipe these Hippocon out. So what was a bad situation for me became actually a good situation. Now his army was disunited, and I can just pick off the weaker units, which is what I did here. And going back into it, now I can raid this. Always try to make use of it. Even if you mess up a little bit, try to see, hey, how can I take advantage of this? How can I make this losing situation into a winning situation? And that's what I did here. So now things are looking good, right? I have a military advantage, massive military advantage, and I have a reasonable well, the economy is about the same. And I have a tech advantage because, you know, he's in age 2 and I'm in age 4. I'm in age 4? Age 3. Going into age 4 soon. When you're in a winning position like this, and you see at the beginning of the game I was in a winning position too, try to not blunder it. Take reasonable steps to win. Don't try to like Hail Mary a win after you're in a good spot. Just slowly push on forward. Continue to get further and further ahead. You know, take little advantages. Don't try to take massive advantages. Take small little advantages and keep on pushing forward, right? A massive advantage, let me just explain it and break it down. A massive advantage is if I take all of these elephants and this siege ram and I just try to blow up his town center right here and try to kill him. If I try to do that, I risk there's a risk of me losing my entire army, right? Alright, so carrying on. So now he's getting desperate. He used his underworld god power to kind of stop my gold. It's a waste in my opinion, but at this point he's already in a really bad spot, really bad predicament, so you have to kind of take these risks. And here I just push forward. If I was smarter, what I should have done is I should have put a Migdal stronghold here. The best way to move forward and is to take put buildings down and take care of the situation. So if I put a fortress here, I have a pivot point like I talked about earlier, and I have a good solid foundation to push off. You don't want to push off just army alone. You want to have structural like buildings here so you can actually retreat behind them. So if I was a little bit better, I should have put a Migdal right here. A Migdal right here, another reason why is all of his units are coming out of these buildings right here. If you have a really high damage DPS building like this, shooting here, all of his units are getting peppered as they come out of their structures, right? So that's what I should have done. Alright, I took care of this right here. And I keep on pushing here, and I did a meteor, and I think this is the end of the game right here. just going to finish it off. Another point I want to make is never stop getting further ahead. I started my trade. Even though the game is over, I know I'm going to win. Don't get lazy. Just keep on doing what you need to do, right? Don't say, hey, he's just about to resign. Forget about trade, forget about upgrades. Keep on trying your best. And I recorded, this is a 35-minute video. I didn't expect to go on this long. But on my last point, I just want to mention it to you guys. To win a game is to have a military advantage. To be able to get a military advantage, you usually need to get an economic advantage. To get an economic advantage, you usually need to either take a second town center or block him from key resources. So I would focus on one of two things, right? Number one, if you're a defensive player, you like to sit back and gather, get a lot of economy going, take a second town center usually most of the games. If you're an aggressive player and you like to, push your opponent and do damage all over the map, then you should really focus on trying to block him off key vital resources. And the key vital resources in most of the games are the second gold mine and your hunting pack. Alright guys, so let me know if you guys want any other videos like this. I kind of went through this really fast because the game is already 35 minutes long. Or this video is going to be almost 40 minutes long when I upload it. So if you guys want more detail into these things, please let me know. I would also, once again, have a look at this as well. I'm not done this spreadsheet. I haven't had time to really finish it, but you guys should all create your own little spreadsheet, your notes as well. Put some little notes like this and try to review them every game or two, right? And then that way you never forget. Another thing that I'm doing that you guys should also do is write down your build orders, right? So I'm doing this right here. I'm not done, but I'm going to be working on this consistently. So I did it for Greek, but you see I still haven't really got through all of them yet. When I do get through all of them, I'm going to share them with you guys. I'm also I'm an accountant. That's my full-time job as well, so I like to actually look at the numbers. I haven't finished this either. I know there's a lot I have to do. I have to plug these numbers in, but kind of look at the more important thing to look at, and let me show you actually, is look at this, right? How much DPS does a unit do? How much HP per cost? HP per pop? These things are important to look at. It's a nice thing to know, right? For example, when I was looking at this, I noticed something. Like, look at the Greek counter infantry and the Egyptian counter infantry. You'll see that the Egyptian counter infantry is significantly weaker than the Greek counter infantry. Almost every single statistic, right? All of these statistics, the Greek infantry is better than the Egyptian one. So what does that mean? That means if the Greek player is making counter infantry, you don't want to make counter infantry to counter his counter infantry. You need to make archers, right? But if I'm playing Greek and the opponent is making counter infantry, then I can make counter infantry to counter his counter infantry because my counter infantry is better. So these little details will make you a better player. Anyways, I've gone on for too long. This is off topic. Thank you guys for watching also. If you guys have any other feedback, just let me know. Also, if you guys can hit that subscribe button, that helps me a lot. If you can like this video, if you enjoyed it, that also helps me a lot. Appreciate all of you guys watching and commenting. I really like the feedback. I'm really enjoying reading every single comment. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.